I want to apologize to my Kenyan and Tanzanian followers that I will drastically reduce the usage of Kiswahili. I have had requests from people who are in Uganda and other African countries, not mentioning outside Africa, where I am being told that assuming that everybody understands Kiswahili is bringing them communication problems. So I'll try as much as possible to use more English than Swahili. Of course, where you cannot translate the joke, I hope our international followers will understand. We are going to discuss somebody of historical significance to Kenya in the 80s and 90s. His name was William Ronkorua ole Ntimama. He was born in February 1928 at a village called Katheri in Meru. There has been, in politics, especially in East and Central Africa, once you become prominent as a public figure, the question of your ancestry become hazy. As of now, it has not been established whether Jomo Kenyatta was a pure Kikuyu. There were rumors that Idi Amin Dada was a Sudanese, although the tribe he came from, Kakwa, most of the people are found in South Sudan than in Uganda. Museveni, although he's a Nyankole, but he has strong roots in Rwanda. There has been rumors that William Ronkorua ole Ntimama was a Meru and not a Maasai. But the truth of the matter is he was a Maasai, but his mother was a Meru. As I've said, he was born in Katheri village in Meru, 1928 in February. His father was staying there and he married a local girl. In those days, somebody, especially a Maasai, moving out of his place and going to settle among other people, especially Meru, was very rare. Towards his end, he visited that village where he was born in and declared that he was a son of that village. And as I've said sincerely, the father's side is that he was a Maasai. Not a lot is known about his upbringing, only that in 1974, he was a councillor before, and not a lot is known when he became a councillor, because being elected as a councillor for the first time, and then you are elected as a county council chairman, was very hard. So he became known in 1974 when he was elected as the chairman of Narok County Council. He liked reading. Actually, there's a time when he became old and whatever, he surrendered a lot of books to the library for other people to read. And he started and got a diploma in law through correspondence from none other than Oxford University. But then he did not pursue law because he said that although he liked reading a lot, but being a political leader, it took a lot of his time that he could not find time to read. 1979, Jomo Kenyatta had died, and he wanted to contest a parliamentary seat and dethrone the then MP for that area, who was Justus Candidate Ole Tipis, mandevu mingi, mandevu ya paka. This one split. It really placed Moi in a hard time. Yes, Ntimama was close to Moi, and yes, Ole Tipis was close to Moi. Ole Tipis was close to Moi from those days of Kadu. But somehow, 1979, he convinced Ntimama not to contest the parliamentary. And in 1979, Ntimama contested and won the county council chairmanship for Narok, 1979. In 1988, Moi left them to fight their own. Say, may the best win. And Ntimama won the election against Ole Tipis. I've just said Ole Tip-Tip. Do not confuse between Ole Tip-Tip and Ole Tipis. Ole Tip-Tip was a very fat person, and his ears had been made the Kimasai way. But Ole Tipis was a small-bodied fellow with long hair and a lot of heavy mustache like that one of a cat. And that is how he defeated Ole Tipis in 1988 elections. Before 1988 elections, I had personally met Ole Ntimama. When the history of Kenya is written, I am everywhere every time. Recently, I was the founding chairman of school feeding program. Now in Nairobi they call it Dishipoa. I was there during the Lotrir operation in West Pokot, and I was there during the Wagala massacre. But Wagala massacre I went immediately after, so the records were fresh. And again, my signature appears in the Turkwel Gorge. I think I should be given a key to Turkwel Gorge so that whenever I go there, I am accommodated free of charge. We had an argument about Turkwel Gorge, and Biwot won the Turkwel Gorge, and we went. That was 1985, and you remember that time ole Ntimama was the county council chairman of Narok. Now, him being found at the boundary of Turkana and West Pokot shows that he was a very powerful person. The day Daniel Arap Moi was going to lay foundation stone for the construction of Turkwel Gorge, we went with, that is the time when I met, I think that is the only time I've ever met him personal. And we greeted, and you see he was on the high table, me, I was on the security, but we greeted, and I told him I admire him. He became very powerful around 1990 because he was one of those people. You know, when Moi saw that multi-party, there was no way of going around the multi-party, it must happen, he started planting people in various places where they were to scare other people. Moi had talked publicly and used to say that if you are a person who has migrated to an area where political feelings were different from your home area, it was mandatory for you to vote as per those areas. This was majorly targeted to the Kikuyu tribe because Kikuyu tribes were found in Rift Valley, and Rift Valley was assumed to be pro-Moi. So he was telling those Kikuyus who have settled in Rift Valley that they should vote for KANU. He had planted a lot of people. There was Barngetuj, there was Ronkorua, there was so many people. But what I want you to remember, ole Ntimama, are two things. One, he is one of the people who advised Moi to go and pluck a professor from the university who was also the chairman of Kenya Commercial Bank and become the Minister for Finance. Later on, they fell out, and the Ntimama never failed to attack Saitoti by telling him, if you truly are a Maasai, why can't you speak in Kimaasai? I wanted you to know that he is the one among the people who talent spotted Saitoti and advised the president to nominate him for budget reading. I also want to say that he is famous for the saying. There's a time he said something and he was quoted, and there are two versions of what he was supposedly to have said. The newspaper said that he had said that the Kikuyus in Narok or Rift Valley in general, they should lie low like an envelope, bahasha. But he himself insisted that he had said that they should lie low like an antelope. For those of you who come from forested area or game park areas, you can tell us of how an antelope can lie low. But then if an antelope lies low, the lions would not see him or her. But one good thing about Ronkorua is that he had an infectious laughter. Even if the situation was bad, even if you were stressed or anything, if he laughed, the long laughter from the heart and whatever, people used to love it, and I used to love it. He died, I think, in 2016. When he died, there was a confusion about his political leanings. Initially, as I've said, he's one of the people who are insisting on loyalty to KANU. But later on, he joined the Democratic Party of Emilio Mwai wa Kibaki. Then he joined ODM. He joined ODM and stayed in the ODM for quite a long time. But just before he died, you see, in Kenya, and I think a few African countries, when a politician dies, it is always that he has been assassinated. So Ronkorua died a natural death, and when he died, just a few days before he died, he had taken a delegation of Maasais to see Uhuru. So it is assumed that he was on his way out of ODM to Jubilee, but he had not completed that. And it is during his funeral that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta as president said, I'll repeat it in English because a good number of people don't understand Kiswahili and have been requested to be talking in English. During Ronkorua's funeral is when Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta said that sisi tunachoma nyama tunakula na wale wengine mko pale mnanusa harufu na mkimeza mate. Translated to English is that we are roasting the meat, eating it, but others are just by the side smelling the sweet aroma of roasted meat and salivating for it. That one is much I can talk about William Ronkorua ole Ntimama.